Hello guys, actually here also to easily send back to another video. Today we're going to be continuing my rants on Mission Bad Boy on some of the rants that I have decided that I want to talk about when it comes to the series. And again, this can also change. The more that I go back and watch, I can also come back on here and just talk about some of the things that I feel like has bothered me. The reason why I haven't brought anything to the forefront about like Addicted or If I Had You is because to me, I think Addicted is just a great, to me, I think it's just a great series. I feel like the only thing I really genuinely didn't like is that I feel like season 4 was really stale, and I feel like I despise the fact that she decided to cancel the series without even giving it a proper ending. I would have just gone with a time jump in Skylar and I believe Zane, that's his name, Jay's brother, them already having their kid, and Jay and Aubrey just being married and happy. Like, that is perfect to me. Don't worry, I think the biggest thing I want to talk about from the series is the controversy surrounding Jay and Aubrey's relationship. Since I have a feeling that people who watched it back then probably look at it a little differently today as an adult. Me personally, I think the only thing that is like questionable about their relationship is just his age. But I would definitely get into all that and why I think people are tending to think because of his age that Jay was a predator, and I feel like that's not necessarily true when it comes to the age thing. So I will be discussing that in a separate video, but other than that, there will be no other things to talk about from Addicted unless I decide to do like a series breakdown, which I probably might do when I talk about him and Aubrey, just talk about some of the things from the series. As for If I Had You, I definitely think If I Had You is indeed of a rewatch. I feel like I haven't watched it in, I hate to say this, I haven't watched that since maybe my senior year of high school, and that was in 2022. So, yeah, I definitely think If I Had You definitely need a rewatch, just to see if I feel any differently about any of the storylines. And I would definitely be back on here in a heartbeat to talk about that, because, we're not going to waste too much time. I have always wanted to take my channel away from teen drama topics, but I feel like there's just so much teen drama topics to talk about that it doesn't make sense to just keep away from it all the time. Because I have One Tree Hill, y'all know it, One Tree Hill, Pretty Little Liars, The OC, Dawson's Creek, whatever it is, I feel like there's so many things to talk about. I am watching Star for the first time, the TV show that aired on Fox. I'm watching that right now. I think the best way for me to talk about that is if I finish all 3 seasons and then give my thoughts about the show. So when I is done and finished, my thoughts about Star would definitely be up and on this channel. But I feel like If I Had You is definitely indeed of a rewatch, and I will come back on here and talk about my grievances with that series. But back to Mission Bad Boy. I love Mission. I cannot say this enough. I love Mission Bad Boy. I love it. The seasons 1 through 5, I absolutely love. I feel like I have nothing bad to say when it comes to those seasons. I just remember that I was actually rewatching the series and then I got distracted. So tonight, I will be officially starting season 3, and I'll be watching season 3 episode by episode, and then I will come here and talk about each season. Because I already watched seasons 1 and 2 already. So, but I remember I finished season 2, and then I started watching season 3, and then I got distracted. So I'll be watching seasons 3 through 5, and then giving my thoughts about seasons 3 through 5. Because I'm not really watching anything right now anyway I'm not, the only 2 shows I'm watching right now is Star and Dawson's Creek, and I'm watching Dexter a little bit because I totally forgot that I was watching Dexter. So I'll try to focus on those 3 shows, but if Mission Bad Boy is a YouTube series, so I'll be fine. Alright, that intro was too long. It was 4 minutes long. Sorry, but y'all know me. I like to chit chat before I get into the video. Keep y'all on your toes. So today's rant is basically a rant that I have always thought about when it came to this series. I have just now decided to talk about it. But like I said, when I watch the season, it can change once I talk about it. But I think this is a storyline that I'm not changing my thoughts on no matter how many times I watch Mission Bad Boy. And that is Ralph having feelings for Sienna made no sense, and it was so unnecessary. So let's break this down and talk about how it happened, when it happened, and why it was necessary. So how this happened was the fact, so Ralph started gaining feelings for Sienna when after him and Dana's breakup. Ralph and Dana were in an extremely long relationship that they had no business being in my opinion. That entire relationship just felt so necessary when you had Dana and Reese right there, in my opinion. So Ralph walked in on Dana and Reese kissing. They broke up, and he went like a downward spiral of the heartbreak. To the fact that he would show up to Siena's house drunk, and she would pretty much take care of him. Him and Jason weren't the closest in season 3. They kind of were distracted. Jason was really happy in his relationship with Sienna, and Ross was just completely heartbroken, and he needed his best friend. And I definitely feel like him and Jason were not there for each other when it came to both of their parts. So Ralph tells Sasha that Reese cheated, and he starts having a fling with Sasha. But in the midst of that, Ralph starts to lean heavily on Sienna as a friend. More than usual, they're having a lot of scenes together. And this makes him have sexual dreams about Sienna while he's with Sasha. When I first saw this, I just thought, oh no, please don't do this. I understand why she was doing it, because I definitely feel like on paper, her and Ralph do look cute together. Like, they look cute. They look like they would match each other. But when she wrote it, it just didn't mesh, because it was very unrequited. When he flipped out at the bar when he was on a double date because he was like drunk and he was telling Jason to get his hands off her, he got feelings for her. It was just very confusing. Him and Jason almost got into a fight, and he said that it was just him being drunk. He said he don't understand what came over him. And when they went on the trip that Reese, I believe Reese's dad had a secret beach house, and all of them came. It was Reese, Dana, Sienna, Jason, Ralph, and Sasha. They all went on a beach trip. Jason and Sienna were very much into each other. That's why I just didn't understand the storyline, because Sienna was very much in love with Jason. I never once thought that Sienna would ever look at anyone like that outside of Jason. I think she loved Jason way too much for her to even write a storyline like this. It was very unrequited, very one-sided. Sienna did not like Ralph like that. And to the fact where Dana was checking Ralph about him having feelings for, her saying that you shouldn't get in between her and Jason are happy. And, he did clock Dana and tell her that she is about to be telling him about cheating when she cheated on him. I'm like, you know what, we're going to clock that, because Ralph is right. And much as I love Dana, and her and Sienna have one of the best friendships in Sims 3 history, I agree with him on that. You're the last person who should be giving me any advice about cheating. But you know what? Even though she did cheat and she knew it was wrong and she did him wrong, at least she knows to watch out for anyone else doing it. It ain't right. If you got feelings for somebody else, don't win no more. Break up with that person and get with the person that you really want. It just seemed really stupid that. And then I believe at the beach trip, when Ralph told Jason that he got feelings for Sienna and that he can't stop thinking about her, he don't understand what these feelings mean, Jason and Sienna break up. He said that he thinks the best thing for them is to break up. So they had a mutual breakup in season 3. They break up because he wanted her to figure out what these feelings were with Ralph, even though she did not have any feelings for him. That's what I'm talking about. I can understand why Jason why he wanted to break up with her, because he didn't want to risk them being together and then her eventually falling for him, leading to any cheating. I get that. He wanted to, let's just get it over with now. I just don't think she ever had any feelings for him. To the point where they break up, and then we roll into season 4. Her and Ralph not even in a relationship. They're nothing. They're still trying to figure out what all this means. They're just trying to get to know each other. To the fact that her and Jason were hooking up in season 4. Her and Jason slept together in season 4 a couple of times. Ralph even asked her, like, is she still seeing him? Like, what is it about? She said no. She said sometimes she come over at night to help her sleep. She said sometimes being close to him helps her sleep, which is so cute. Jason and Sienna shipper to the day I die. I love them. She said being with Jason helps her sleep. So her and Ralph try to become something while she's in college. They go on one date and they kiss, and they both just said it was nothing there. They felt nothing, so they decided to just figure out that they should just be friends, because there's like nothing romantically there, and there's no point of trying to force it. So her and Jason get back together, pretty much.
It was because
oh, sorry about that. And her and Jason just get back together, and her and Ralph never even existed. And that's why she wrote the Tessa. That's why she wrote the Tessa storyline, because the storyline between Ralph and Sienna was just so useless and stupid. I cannot express enough how when I say that this is so unnecessary, I mean it to the T. This was so unnecessary. This whole storyline was just so unnecessary. I don't even understand why she needed to write this when it's like Ralph was over. Let me get this straight. And this is why I say Ralph through seasons 3 through 5, he's so frustrating to watch because he's just very confused. And I get it. Being confused can make anyone lose their mind. I think anyone who's in a situation of a love triangle, or they're dating other people but trying to figure out who they want in the equation of that, it can be very confusing. Which is why I don't think Lucas Scott should be hated as much as he is, because again, bitches like Lori and Elena can do it on a daily basis, but no one calling them out, not as much. But Lucas does it, and he's the devil. Like, I just think it's just such a double standard. I'm not mad at Ralph for being confused. What I'm mad at is that we didn't need him with Cena. He dragged Cena into this confusion equation because he was, honestly, I think a lot of this just came from the fact that he was still in heartbreak over Dana. I want to say he was over, like, I think he was over Dana, but I think he just went back into his fuckboy stage. That's what I really think. No, it wasn't about Dana. I think Ralph was just going back into his fuckboy stage, because all of it came from the fact of him being with Sasha. Ooh, sorry, I'm thirsty. I think most of what he was doing was just coming from a fuckboy stage, because that's what he said. He said he's going back to not giving a fuck no more. He tried to have a relationship and it didn't work, so now he's going back to his fuckboy ways. He had Sasha, that wasn't enough. He wanted Cena too. I think all it was just him being like going back to his fuckboy ways. I think the person who he really wanted, and I'm going to make a video about it, is Tessa. Tessa is the only person who he was really emotionally connected to, and I stand on that. I don't care what anyone says. Tessa was the person who he was really emotionally close to and emotionally connected to. Like, I feel like when he was with her, I feel like he wasn't a fuckboy. Like, I feel like he had his conscience clear when he was with Tessa. But him and Cena, this storyline was just so unnecessary. It was so weird to watch. Like, I won't even say it was cringe, because when I did my couple ranking, I think they were like the last couple last. I believe I ranked them last, because everything about it, when I first watched it, when I was like in middle school and like early high school, I remember just being so necessary, like very, very necessary to me. I'm thinking like, it almost like it was even a love triangle. Like, it would have been one thing if it was a love triangle. That probably would have been interesting. It shouldn't make that into a love triangle. Her and Jason end up breaking up anyway. It's like, what was the point of this storyline? What was the point? Like, I really didn't even know what's the point. The same way I feel about this storyline is the same way I feel about when she broke up Scott and Autumn with the kids, and she put Scott and Rosie together. I love Scott and Autumn together. I feel like that storyline in season 6 and 7 was just so good, and I feel like I think in season 8, I don't know if she got bored with it and decided they needed something in between that, so she just wrote Rosalie in there. To me, it just felt very forced. I do think Scott and Rosalie have chemistry. Just me personally, I just didn't like the idea of her sacrificing Autumn and Scott for Rosalie and Scott. I was just more of a Scott and Autumn shipper. That to me was just so cute. Like, their emotional connection, everything about it was just so cute. And then her getting with Miles, and then Scott still having feelings for her. Her still deep down having feelings for Scott, but just being scared because she's always been told that she was ugly and she was being bullied and things like that. I just think that storyline was just so good. And she sacrificed it. And they were so cute together, and she sacrificed the storyline. Don't worry, I do plan on watching the kids' storylines again, because just like this, I watched season 6, and then I didn't watch any seasons after it because I got distracted by other things going on in my life. So don't worry. Just like I'm watching season 6 of Mission Bad Boy, I will be watching season 6 through 9, I believe, that she has already up for the kids. Or I don't know, actually, I might just watch season 7 and 8 because season 9 is not finished. I would much rather wait until she finishes season 9. Actually, I don't know how long that might take, so I just might watch what she has uploaded and then wait until she finishes it. Yeah, I'll do that because I don't know how long it will take for her to finish season 9. So that's how I feel. And now I just feel like Autumn is just there. I just feel like Autumn is just there now. I have no idea why Autumn is still a character. She just like she's there to the point where she's introducing even more characters to give the characters who are not doing anything a storyline, like Autumn and Miles. Miles hasn't been an important character since season 7, in my opinion. I definitely feel like she has not. Honestly, y'all want me to get real? The Ralph and Sienna storyline is done. My final thoughts about that storyline is that it was unnecessary. It was stupid. All of it came from Ralph wanting to be a fuckboy and him going to the fuckboy stage. And I feel like he just felt. I feel like because him and Sienna were building something, that it made him confuse the platonic feelings with romantic feelings, and he got very confused. And when they tried to make it into something romantic, it was very surface level, and it didn't work. It was just strictly platonic, and I'm glad she kept them as friends. But back to what I'm saying about the kids stuff. Characters who I feel like she hasn't done anything with since their initial storylines is I feel like she hasn't done anything with Autumn. I feel like ever since season 8 when her and Scott broke up and they never ever got back together, like after she caught Scott, the fact that she made Scott cheat on Autumn with Rosalie, that to me just felt like such a big derailment. And it's just me or Scott is cute. Like I know he's a video. I know he's like I'm gonna say he's like a what they call that game. I'm assuming it's a game they do. What is Sims series Sims is a game. So for him to look like that, he a fine ass white boy game. He's a fight boy. Oh my gosh, he's a fine ass white boy in a game to me. They all cute. Scott, Nico, and Xavier, they all cute to me. I just feel like to have Scott cheat on Autumn, that to me just like such major character development. Like I just didn't agree with that. Rosie was never an important character to me. Rosie didn't do anything in season 6. She had a storyline with that boy Theo in season 7, them being in this on-again, off-again relationship. That was about it. I feel like she wrote that Rosalie and Scott storyline to give Rosalie something to do because Rosalie she really didn't have much going on. She really did not. I feel like she wasn't really a part of those storylines with the kids really, and it's like you couldn't have. I don't know. You could put her with Miles. Like I think that would have made a lot more sense to her and Scott, in my opinion. I just don't like the idea of Scott and Autumn not being a couple. Like, I think that to me is just what bothers me. Is that I love Scott and Autumn so much as a couple that I just hate the fact that she ruined them. And now Autumn, she just feels there. Autumn feels like she's there. Miles definitely feels like he's just there. And Xavier and Karen too. They haven't done anything since season 6 in my opinion. They're just together. They're just happy. They're cute. They have chemistry. They're just together. But as for storylines, y'all can forget it. I definitely feel like she sacrificed certain characters because she just did not know what to do with them after their initial storylines. And I still love the fact that the parents are still there and they still get like their funny storylines and things like that. I still love that, but I definitely feel like maybe it's time to wrap up the Mission Bad Boy series. Maybe it's time for her to do something else because I just kind of feel like where else can she go with this? I don't even know what grade they're in. Like, are they even still in high school? I love Nico and Autumn. I mean, it's not Nico. I love Nico and what is wrong with me? I can't say his real name right. I love Nico and Aurora together. They are very cute, and you could definitely tell they are like the new Jay and They're like the Jay and Aubrey. What the fuck am I talking about? What the fuck is going on with me? I'm not even tired, so why the fuck am I just like botching all over the place? They're like the new Jason and Sienna, and you can very much tell they are very cute. I love them together. Their built together was very fantastic. Their love story. I love Scarlett. Her and the guy that she's with, that's fine. I love that for her. I love the fact that she's a mom. I really love that for Scarlett. She went from being like a free spirited girl to like kind of being locked down. You know, I love that for her. I definitely wish I would have loved if her and Xavier would have been a little bit more. That would have gone a little bit more further in season 6. I feel like she cut that way too short. I feel like that had so much legs, and she cut that extremely way too short, in my opinion. I definitely would have loved if that would have kept on going, in my opinion. I think that's just how I feel initially about Sims 3 when it comes to the kids. Like I said, I still have to rewatch to see if anything refreshes my memory. But as for the Ralph and Peter storyline, I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. I understand why she did it. Like I said, I understand because on paper they look good together. But when she initially wrote the storyline, it just wasn't hitting. And I think it all came from Ralph confusing platonic friendship feelings and with romantic feelings, and I think all that just came from him being a fuckboy. I think because he thought that he had Sasha, that he could have Sienna too because he was starting to feel something for her, and I just feel like that ain't right. I feel like for him to do something like that to his own best friend Jason, that ain't right. I mean, look at Ralph a little different, like, whoa, Ralph, what you doing, bro? What you on? But I am very happy that she initially wrote Tessa in because I feel like he had like a real love story there, and then she sacrificed them for him and Sasha. So don't worry, I'm gonna get to him and Tessa. I definitely feel like I need to watch a couple episodes of season 4 to I think I need to watch a couple episodes of season 4 and 5. Should I do that? I wonder if I should. I'm gonna think about it. I'm thinking if I should watch seasons 4 and 5 and then come back and talk about him and Tessa, because him and Tessa not being in game, that keeps me up at night. Like, I know it's just a series on YouTube, but I don't get it. I'm watching this shit since I've been a fucking preteen. I feel like him and Tessa should have been in game, and I'm so mad they weren't, bro. I'm like so heated that they weren't. I think what I need to do is watch seasons 4 and 5 and then come back and get my opinions on them. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna sleep on it. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. So this has been Ashley, also known as the HB fan, and good night. Y'all have a good one, and I'll see y'all next time about me talking about Jane Aubrey. Ciao.